out there all ready to hear a story? All right. Let me read you a story about a famous man in the Bible. This is the story of Scaredy Cat Gideon. Many years ago, the people of Israel did a bad thing and started worshiping the evil god Baal instead of the one true God. We know today that Baal was not a god. He did not exist. But back then, many people thought he was real. They thought Baal was mean. They were afraid he would do bad things to them if they did not worship him. So they started worshiping Baal and not the true God. Since they had stopped following God, God stopped protecting them from their enemies and allowed the big Midianite army to come and steal their food. However, there was a man who still followed God. His name was Gideon. But Gideon had a problem. He was a scaredy cat. Scaredy cats are afraid of anything new. Scaredy cats are afraid of doing what God asks. Scaredy cats are afraid because they don't know that God is with them. Let's read more about Scaredy Cat Gideon and how he became a brave soldier when he trusted that God was with him. One day, Scaredy Cat Gideon was hiding in a hole, threshing grain so that the Midianites would not see him. Suddenly, an angel came to him. Gideon was very scared. He had never met an angel before. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. God is with you." The angel also told Gideon, "Knock down that altar to Baal that your father made, and then build an altar to God. Remember, God is with you." And then the angel flew away. Gideon was scared, but he remembered the angel's words, "God is with you."
God is with me.
So even though he was afraid, he decided to do what the angel said, since God was with him. So during the night, when no one could see him, God knocked down the altar to evil Baal.
God is with me. I choose to worship God because God loves me, and God is kind, and God cares for me, not like evil Baal who doesn't. Take that Baal!
And then he built an altar to God. And kind. God loves you so much, he cares cared about them. They started to worship God instead of Baal. But the Midianites continued to steal their food. There were so many Midianites. What could they do? Finally, they asked God to chase all the Midianites away. Again, the angel came to Gideon. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. God is with you. God wants you to lead the Israelite army and chase away the Midianites. God is with you." And then the angel left. Gideon remembered that the angel had said, "God is with you," but he was still very scared. He had never led an army before. Gideon thought, "How do I know that God is really with me?" Then he had an idea. That night, he placed a sheep fleece on the ground. He asked God to make the fleece wet with dew, but keep the ground dry. The next morning, Gideon hurried to check the fleece. It was wet.
It's wet and the ground is
Dry. This is exactly what Gideon had asked God to do. Maybe God was really with him. But Gideon was so scared that he wanted to make sure. He prayed the next night that God would make the ground wet with dew, but keep the fleece dry. The next morning, the fleece was dry,
It's dry.
but the ground was wet.
It's dry. It's dry. Yes, look, it's dry. It's dry. Oh, it's dry. Oh, it's dry. Hey, praise the Lord. The Lord is with me. It's dry.
Again, God had answered his prayer. Knowing that God was with him changed Gideon from a scaredy cat into a brave soldier. He led his small Israelite army against the big Midianite army and chased them away because God was with him.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's chase away those Midianites. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, Sally and Caitlin and everybody else, the same is true for all of us. God is with us. Remembering that God is with us when we are afraid makes us able to do great things for God. The next time you are scared, remember what Gideon learned. God is with you. Thank you, Sally and Caitlin.